I guess Amanda, you can go ahead and start this mastermind. So this mastermind is about lead gen without burning out. So I think I'm doing a pretty good job at it. Amanda, you're doing an amazing job at it, and especially Jeb, you look like you don't have any stress on your face. So that is amazing. We want to learn from you.
No wrinkles over there. He's stress free.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I love this topic because when I first started real estate, I was told, oh, you've got to make 40 phone calls a day and it's got to be cold calls and you've got to build your database and then you've got to do an open house every single weekend. And it just didn't feel very natural to me, but I wanted to be successful. So I started doing that. But then I was like, I really don't like doing this. Maybe I don't like real estate. Maybe I'm failing. And so I really started second guessing the whole idea of I knew I would be a great negotiator and I knew that I would follow up with my clients, but I didn't realize how important lead generation was until I got into the business. And so I think that this is a great topic. Our topic is going to go over how do you do lead generation while not giving up on your values and things that are important to you and finding a way of how it aligns with you. So if you have kids or dogs or fancy cars or you love investments already, how do you find something that you're already passionate about doing and then just tie real estate to that? So it's a natural flow. It's not any extra work. And I think that we were always taught we needed 5 buckets of lead gen. I think instead of going wide, if we just had maybe two or three and really went deep with our people, it'd be a great change. Does anyone on the Zoom feel like lead generation is stressful or it doesn't feel natural or feel salesy?
Raise your hand, blow up the chat. We want to hear from you, especially the thing that you struggle with. If you have any lead generation problem that me and Amanda can solve right now, we would love to hear from you. So blow up the chat, open up the mic, tell us what's going on in your business, and we're gonna start the mastermind with your question, your concern. Yeah, but Amanda, I agree with you. So for me, lead generation, if I have to do the thing that I don't really enjoy for, let's say for example, cold calling, I think I'm gonna quit real estate like the first day or two. But luckily, there's 101 way to generate lead just by doing the thing that you're good at, or maybe integrate it into some of the stuff that you're already doing. Like for example, I play tennis on a high level. I'm in a lot of group, a lot of sport association, and when you get to a certain level, you meet with affluent people regardless. So I meet with a lot of affluent people that play tennis every single week, if not every other day. And then, the question of what do you do for business? Eventually, they will find out exactly what you do for business. And then, if you connect with people that way, organically, you guys have a common base. I think business come that way. They trust you on the court. They know how you play. They know how you handle the ball, the pressure. All of that skill set and all of that interaction, it translate from the tennis court. It translate into life very easily. So me and my client, we're almost partner. We are compatible. We know each other, how we play, how we react. So I run my business that way. So I don't know if you have the same experience like me, Amanda, or if you have any kind of hobby that generates a lot of business for you.
Yeah, I think that's so smart. Lead generation isn't just about grinding and making those random phone calls. I think it, like you said, it's about connecting in a way that fits your lifestyle, like a way that you're already doing, fits your strengths to where you can show, hey, I'm calm under pressure. I can focus. If the ball goes the wrong way, it's okay. I can pivot if I need to. And so I think finding a way to show up as yourself, but then with purpose, right? Being comfortable saying, I'm in real estate or I'm a real estate investor, or I'm a real estate consultant. That one extra step, sometimes maybe even people on the Zoom, you're in the right rooms and you're in front of the right people, but then you don't take that one extra step to be purposeful and say, I'm in real estate and I do want to work with you and I am good at what I do. So for me, I'm in a lot of mom groups. I'm in a good area where there's a good price point. I also am surrounded by investors, thanks to Jeff. And so I think just being really confident in saying, I love what I do. I want to help as many people as possible. And when I'm in front of those people, not being afraid to ask for the business. I think a lot of times we feel like following up is salesy or spammy. But if we shift our mindset to saying following up is professional, and every professional salesperson follows up because that's just what you need to do to move people through the pipeline. And we are professionals. I think that's a good shift. Does anyone want to share what they are passionate about and how they could tie it into real estate or have tied it into real estate?
Yeah, so the question is, how does your hobby, how does your lifestyle start tie into real estate? So I would love to hear that from you, from Elva, from Jessica. I know that Jessica has been going to her dance class and amazing dancing, by the way. I love all of your video. But yeah, stuff like that, pickleball, dancing. I would like to hear from you guys. What is the activity that you do, and how do you naturally connect with people that way? Right? It could be a gym class. I don't know what other hobby that people do, Amanda.
Another question could be, who do you naturally influence? Who's looking up to you and paying attention to you? So if it's people who want to travel, is it people who want to invest? Is it other moms? Is it typically people who are in their 20s and they're getting out of college and they're first time home buyers? Is it veterans? What is your audience? Who's looking up to you? Lydia, the poker room.
Oh,
Yes.
Absolutely. Yeah. So my
Livia, for me, Livia, this is May. I just saw your message about poker room. We have to connect it. We have to figure out how to find more clients from the poker room.
Yep.
But just to my 2 cents on this, I saw that people get into what is it? Pokeballs?
Pickleball.
Right? Yeah, pickles. And they even create local groups on Facebook that just connect other pickleball players together in the neighborhood, in the area, or because they play a lot in the Vietnamese community, they create their own Vietnamese community, right? So that's how they bring people together. And from there, they start going to dinners, lunch, and that's how they have closing left and right. So I know definitely sport is one thing.
Yeah. I love that. And Amanda, you're on mute. Yeah.
And is that one extra step that you mentioned, May? Like, okay, yes, we play sports, but then let's go do something social. Let's go sit down and have a meal together. And then that's where they really start to open up.
Yep. Yep. And I
For
know
me,
Jeff. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna add for me, I dance. I have done a little bit of business, not as I spent a lot of time dancing in the past, and I wish I had gotten more business from it, but there's a lot of realtors there, so it does come from it, but so it is good. But the one thing that I think I really have liked is I went all in with Tony Robbins and bought the package, and I
Mm,
haven't met as many like a lot of as much business has not come from that, but I made one friend in there that we got really cool. She took me as her plus one to this crypto investment thing with like ultra high net worth individuals. And so it just makes me realize like the Tony Robbins people are like my people. And I'm going again in August and I'm just going to be really intentional to just develop relationships and maintain them because just one connection can really change your life. Like I learned a little bit about crypto. I made like an investment recently and I made like a 70 something percent return. It's crazy. So even the stuff we pay money for self-development, those are your people. They're paying money to grow like you.
I love
I think
that.
that's a good thing.
So smart.
Yeah, I love
So that you're supposed to join the most expensive gym membership that you can afford because apparently those people are also like spending a lot to invest in themselves and show up every day.
Yep, I love that. Jeff, I know that golf is your thing. Would you mind sharing with us any of your success story as far as golfing? Were you able to create any authentic connection? Maybe connect with somebody you really like, and then later on y'all become friend and business partner?
Yeah, absolutely. So I've had many instances where just playing golf and traditionally the first few holes you're asking, what do you do for work and et cetera, et cetera. And I always take that opportunity to let them know that I have a real estate business, really. I can help them buy, sell, or invest. I can close their title transactions. I can help them with hard money loans. I can source investor deals. I can help them add to their portfolio. And it usually gets them pretty interested. And I just leave it at that and then just try to have fun and play golf. But they usually end up asking me about the market and lending and title and all that kind of stuff. And I also use golf to take out past clients and investors and friends that I work with a few other companies. That's huge. I do golf a lot. And I would think most people are golfing just for a hobby, if you will, but I am too. But I'm also a lot out there. Most of the time, I'm with clients or friends that I work with, or past clients or investors or something. So I do golf a lot, but I am doing a little bit of work out there for sure.
Love that. I love that.
But yeah, so a success story, man. I got, I think, not the most recent one, but the largest one was golfing up at Blue Jack. And then the guy said that he has a buddy that's moving in to work at his oil company and needs to find them a house. That guy that he referred me to ended up buying a right at $1 million house with some horses on it and stuff like that. That round of golf made me like 30 grand. So there's some smaller ones like that too, but And then I ended up letting him know about his oil company if he's moving his headquarters to the Houston area, that I could set up essentially some type of referral agent, either back to his company or just apply the 25% referral credit to his employees off
Mm,
their costs and stuff. And he really liked that. And he ended up sending me a few more. So
there you go. Love that. Love that. Cool bean. You have anything to add to that, Amanda?
I think it's about being intentional. Yes, he golfs a lot. We always give him a mess for that, but he's living his best life, but intentionally with the plan to say, how can I tell people I'm in real estate? How can I find a way to serve people? And so I think whatever your passion is, I shared a few, like it could be for you, Hui, like you could do an investor card meetup at a coffee shop, or for people who love dogs, like a cute yappy hour, and you can have your real estate shirt on, or faith-based and do a Bible study. I think the biggest one that for me is the most personal is having people over to your home and either having coffee with them or sharing a meal with them. I think that's a lost art of having people come to your home, and that's so personal and intimate, and just sharing with them that you're in real estate. It goes a long way. Does anyone else want to share something that they've either been interested in and we can mastermind around it, or something that you love doing but you haven't really dipped your toes into it as far as a niche?
Yeah. Yeah, so just for the people that come in, the mastermind topic is how do you create business from your hobby, the warm lead, people that you already met, right? Without spending any money, without cold calling or without reaching out and consume your energy, stuff like that. Because we want real estate to be fun, to be authentic. We want everybody here to do real estate for a long time, not just do it for a couple of years, got burned out and quit. So I think this topic, although it's subtle, it's a little thing you do every day, but it's very intentional and it's so important. And if you can somehow integrate that beautifully into your life, it's gonna help you lift you up your business and your lifestyle a lot.
I see Tao and Suzanne and Kai are on here, and y'all are all big producers. Where are you getting most of your leads from? What is your niche that you're doing daily that you're integrating into real estate?
I think the most lead that we get from is social media and videos. It
Mm,
has been working for us very well, and I've been focusing on it ever since I started real estate.
that's awesome. Hello.
Look at all
Um,
that hair.
I think
Nikki here. I want to share too, because sometimes, like, I have a nail salon or even a haircut place that I go and get my hair washed. They know me already, and sometimes I said, "Can I leave some business cards here?" Or they'll say, "Oh yeah, I know a realtor that can help you," and sometimes they'll send their own client my way. Basically, I breathe and talk real estate everywhere I go.
that's really good. Yeah, so I think Amanda, we can shift gear a little bit. So we have been talking about the subset of people that we know, like within our circle, using just a hobby, just a thing we do every day. But what about the people you haven't met? I just mentioned social media. It's just a way for her to attract people that she haven't met. For example, a reel that she made out that really hit, right? She can boost it. She can throw some money into the video, and it boosts the video so much it reach out to the people that she haven't met yet, and now from that she can start building a relationship. So let's shift gear over to that topic. What is some of the way that you guys do, or if anybody is having an issue on your cold lead generation, let us know. We want to tackle that office right now. For Tao, it has been social media and video has been working really well for her. For me, I has been having a lot of luck lately with Google My Business, a lot of cold lead, cold investor, cold client, people that I have not met, don't know, I don't know who they are. They reach out to me, right? Hey, I watch all your content. I follow you. I'm ready to do X, Y, and Z. Can you help me? So
I think finding someone that goes within your niche that you're passionate about, like Jessica's talking about Tony Robbins and personal development. I had a book club that I need to start back up. And what I found is at first it was realtors that would come, but then it ended up being business owners. So it's people from all over different industries who wanted to talk about personal development and growing and changing and things like that. And a lot of those business owners knew people that I didn't know and were in different rooms that I had never been in. And so I think whatever you're passionate about, making sure you invite people that you don't know and getting into rooms that you wouldn't normally get into. And maybe that room is not the room you need to be in, but it'll open the door to another room for you to get into. For us, it's we love our neighborhood. It's doing maybe neighborhood events to where you're getting in front of moms or other people who own homes that you wouldn't typically get in front of. Or if you like, I'm passionate about business owners, especially small businesses. So getting in front of those people. What are other really good ideas?
Yeah, so let's talk about that. Everybody write this down. When it comes to cold lead generation, number one, event is a way to grow your business. I think that's the reason why Jeff hold a lot of event for his title company and his hard money company. Jeff, do you want to open up your mic and share with us why do you spend so much money throwing event? I know this is medicine, it's costing you, but you still like doing it.
Yeah, we are spending some money, but a lot of times we have sponsors that want to get in front of the people that we're inviting. So you can share that cost with them, or we're doing an event here at my office at 11. It's just a realtor to investor event. It's real small, maybe like 10 people. We're just going to explain, they're investing like I do every day, and we also do a co-sponsor on other people's events, which has been, it's just a lot easier, honestly. You
Yeah.
find someone that's already hosting an event, they already did the hard work, they've already created the event, they're already pushing it to an audience, they got 100 people showing up, and you say, hey, I got a hard money company, can I throw in $250 and show up and invite my own people? And they're like, absolutely. So then you just, they throw your logo on their event, you invite all those people, they did all the heavy lifting, you just really show up and give them $250 for the sponsorship, and then you can network with clients. And a lot of people that you invite, they show up, and let's say it's a big event that's really nicely set up, they think you did it. Wow, man, it's a great event, man. You're doing yeah.
Jeff's the
Thank
king of just showing up. Like the leaders that are on there,
yeah,
they
thanks for
know.
letting me know, kind of thing. But yeah, so we do that where it's just a lot easier for me, I think, is just to find events that people are posting and just reach out to the organizer and be like, hey, you need a sponsor? I'll show up. And then all of a sudden you've got a bunch. It seems like I'm doing a lot of events and spend a lot of money. A lot of those are just co-sponsored events. I'm just sponsoring and showing up and inviting the people with me.
Yeah.
But we do have the investor events, and then I think me and Hui are doing a lot of training stuff. So it's just as
Yeah.
long as you're giving value, you're going to receive value by the people either joining our group or sending me a contracted title or send me a hard money loan, or even more lately, I've been just sending me potential deals that they find now that they know that I'm an investor and flipper myself, but also have a long list of clients that have utilized my hard money. Those are legitimate buyers ready to go. So now that they know that, I'm getting a lot of deals just sent to me directly. So definitely worth it.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah. So either create your own event if you have enough
Yeah.
the capacity, the sponsor. It could be the first time home buyer workshop. It could be work related, or it could be a fun event. I know Kai, his team, they actually host a lot of client appreciation event. That's a great way to get a referral of your past client as well. And I remember, Thảo, she always say that whenever you go to a party, don't come empty-handed. Always bring a nice bottle of wine, right, with you. Greet the host, add value to the host, and then from there you can start to get to know people. So I think again, everybody need to write it down. If you want a shortcut to get people to know you, just go to event, bring something nice, and start to network with people. Birthday party, any kind of thing that you can get invited to, go ahead and go. It's gonna be your shortcut to get to know people around town. If somebody drop me into town and I don't know anybody, the first thing I do is start going to event to see who is who.
Smart. Okay, so let's say you've mastered your niche in your neighborhood and you go to all these events and you've got 5,000 people in your database. Has anyone ever thought for some of us, we don't have a lead generation problem, we have a lead conversion problem? Does anyone struggle with that? I've got all these people who say that they might buy and then they don't make a move, or they've got oh, we're waiting for this, or this hasn't happened yet. And then instead of working those people through the pipeline, we feel like we need to go out and lead generate some more people. Anyone have that struggle?
I have a client who drives me crazy, and I'm sure we all feel this sometimes, where we feel like we're wasting our time. And I'll just say this for an example, to not give up on people sometimes, because it might not even be that person and they're the path to somebody else that you don't know at the time. But I had some multi-million dollar people in Houston looking at properties, and I showed them properties for, I don't even know, maybe even 2 years. That they'd fly in from other countries or California, and we'd go see high-end properties. They were going to buy 5 homes. And I spent a lot of time with them, and they didn't buy anything. And then now I have this new client he's a little pompous, and I really don't really like being around him too much, because I go show him property and he makes lowball offers. It could be like a $2 million property and he'll offer 1.5 million, and they're not going to take it. And then, but when he sells this property, we have a listing, he wants so much. So he calls me to see this $2 million property, and I didn't want to show it to him because I know what he's doing, and he irritates me. And really, he can't even buy. His other person can buy. He's not really even the buyer, but he's the one in control, even though he's not the buyer, if that makes sense. The other person does what he says. So he wanted to see this $2 million property. I showed it to him. He was embarrassing. We left. He wanted to see it again. I showed him again. The third time he called me to see this property, I didn't want to show it to him. I'd already showed it to him a few times. He says, I have some friends that flew in from Arizona. He met them at the Republican convention in Arizona, and they flew down and they met us there. And I was out of town with my mom. And I hurried back home to show him this property. And the inside of me did not feel good about showing him the property because I felt like he was wasting my time again. And so I get there and there's these two other men I'd never met. We go around and look at the land, and the man turns around to me and says, I'll give 2 million for this. And he bought the property. They could have used any realtor. They had never met me. They had their own realtor, but he didn't. Because I came and met them, he used me to buy this property, which was $2 million, and it was a full commission. Then I tell the guy, I go, because it's a lot of land, like it's 150 acres. And I tell the guy, I says, you can just take 50 acres of this and make all your money back. If you let me subdivide 50 acres, you could get your 100 acres for free. And they were like, no, we don't want to do that. Then 2 weeks later, he calls me and says, can you really do that? I said, yeah, I could do that. And I said, I want $5,000 a lot. So if I take, 60 acres and I make 50 lots, I want $5,000 a lot. He said, I want to use up 50 acres. So it gives me 40 lots. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's huge. For me, it's huge. So I was super excited. We made the deal. He calls me yesterday, and I've been working on it now for 2 months. He calls me yesterday with another man on the phone. That man has a $40 million budget and wants me to find them 1,000 acres. And they want to do the whole rental community deal. And they want to do 1,000 square foot, 3-bedroom houses that are strictly rental, which if you guys are staying in the loop, data centers, power supply centers, the whole community rental places, that's what's hot right now. It's almost like we have to pivot with what's hot right now. And so what I'm saying, I say all that to say this man who a little bit irritated me, really through him, I made the biggest sale I've ever made. I've made lots of sales. I do a lot of transactions myself. I don't have a whole team that does my transactions. I do a lot of small transactions. I'd never even made, I think I do between 50 and 70 transactions a year, and I have never had $1 million sale. I've had close to $1 million sale, but I went from lots of little ones to a $2 million one, and now somebody's wanting 1,000 acres, and then they're going to include me on everything, and it's just like the biggest step of my life, and it's because I stayed nice to someone. I'm nice to everybody, but sometimes we have to hang with those, even if we feel like they're wasting our time, they really might not be. I've really ended up getting like 4 transactions out of that man, and I've listed 2 of their properties, and I do appreciate them. And I give back. They're
So
better
connected.
if I give back. Yeah, but I'm just saying, don't give up because somebody hasn't bought, because it might not be them. They just may be in your path, right? They might have just made the Y in your path to meet somebody else that's going to make it great for your tomorrow.
Something that I'll say about this client, she had never met this guy that flew in. They were loaded, and they had this vision of taking this land and building beautiful, luxurious homes. And they were going to sell their luxurious homes. And instead of mom going along with it, she was like, that sounds great, but what you really need to do is build these tiny little cheap houses and have 50 of those or whatever, a bunch of those little houses, and they rent out so well, and that's where you're going to make the most money. And at first he was like, oh, like that's not sexy, right? That's not exciting. I want to do fancy stuff. And she stood her ground and she said, I'll support you in any way, but really look at this and let's go over the numbers because this is where you're going. You can have pretty and shiny and feel good, or you can make money. And this is really how you're going to make money. And I think that they took a pause to go, wow, she's not just a realtor who says yes, she's consulting me and she's treating my money like it's her money. That went a long way.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. That was quite a story. Congrats, Suzanne.
Oh, thank you. I'm so excited. Oh, and not only that, because of the path, like I didn't intend on through these houses, I didn't intend on being a septic installer or a water operator. But the big man that I met yesterday said, hey, we want to do, because you can do in the state of Texas, if you're outside the city limits and you have to have a water well, which water is an issue. We have an issue with our water. If you have to have a water, you have to have 2 acres, one for septic, one for water. If you have co-op water, you have to have an acre for your septic. But if you're in the city and you have sewer and water, you can have tiny lots, right? 1,800 square foot lots or 6,000 square foot lots. So you get many lots. So this guy says, we want to do our own sewer system and our own water company. And then we'll be like our own mini city. Can we do 300 lots instead of getting 40 lots out of the same property? And I said, yes, you can. And because I had took those little classes, cost me like $500, I've had knowledge, even though I haven't done a sewer system, if you will, I was familiar with it. And because of that, now they're looking at doing like a whole community with that land and not just the 1 acre lots. And I still get to be included.
That's wild.
Oh, yeah.
Very
Amanda, I saw your note, but yeah, I really like it. I think I would agree with you on this. So back to the topic of conversion. I don't know what about you, but for me, a lot of the time, I just try to solve the problem, if that makes sense. You have a problem and I have a solution, and I just want to go to point A to point B, solve the problem rather than becoming your friend, if that makes sense. If they direct the conversation into they talk about anything like dramatic or not related to the problem that I'm solving, I kindly acknowledge that and I turn the conversation back into the problem we're solving anyway. So my time on the phone on the client with the client, sometimes it's really short, it's really efficient, and it just get the job done. I think a lot of people in my team, they have a problem, they get dragged into the drama, of all the client, and then they end up staying on the phone with the client for 2, 3 hours. I just never have that problem. I acknowledge, and then I put them right back into the problem that they are solving. So I really like the template, the question that you just posted, Amanda.
Yes, copy and paste these and use these and practice. If you have a lot of peak time, so we'll have a lot of people in the pipeline, and instead of being able to convert them and move them down the pipeline, which is our job as salespeople, is help them get through the process of, okay, now I'm ready to make the offer. Now I'm ready to list my house. Now I'm ready to close and move on. They get stuck in this pipeline phase where we've got a bunch of these. And instead of being able to move them, we go, oh, we need to go out and get another 10 leads. We need to get 15 more leads because these people aren't buying. And these people deserve our time because they've raised their hand and said, yes, I'm interested. I am aware of what you do. I want to learn more. But then they're stuck for some reason. And I think a lot of the times we take for granted that we are doing this every day and we understand the inventory, we understand the interest rates, we understand investments, and they don't talk that language every single day. And we need to dig deeper and ask questions, even if it seems silly. They're never going to be upset if you ask them a deep question like, what does that mean to you? Why is that important to you? Why do you care about that? Why? Tell me more about that. Those questions will get you to find out what really happened and why they can't go through that pipeline. And so let's say you have a buyer and they're just not making a move and they said, yeah, I want to move this summer because my kids need to go to Katy High School. And you just left it at that. Okay, we're going to do the search for Katy High School and send it off and figure it out. Did you go through that extra step of going, why is that important to you? Why Katy High School? Oh, he's in football and this is so important because we need football for this sport or this whatever. Or sometimes asking those extra questions of, oh, interest rates are high, so I don't want to buy right now. Is interest rates high? Is that a problem because you're worried about your monthly payment being too high? Or are you really financially savvy and you know that if you finance it for 30 years at a high interest rate, regardless of the payment, you're going to be paying too much. And so you'll have a different conversation based off of those questions and then redirect them, like we said, acknowledge it and say, got it. I understand that. That's totally valid. And then solve their problem with logic. And then that doesn't mean that they're going to buy a house right away, but that gets them to the next step. Hey, can I put you in front of a lender who can run numbers with you? Can I set you up on an auto search? Hey, I know you're not ready to sell yet and you're overwhelmed and you haven't been able to find a house that you love. Can I just meet with you and share what the process would look like when we do start working together so you're ready? And never push for that sell, but it's just moving them through that pipeline before you know it, when you share your process, the logical part of their brains, oh, this is safe. I feel like I understand what's going to happen next. I'm ready to move forward.
Yeah, I love that. So be really a consultant. The client is in control, but you can direct them and you can guide them. And I think that's the real definition of a real estate agent. is to
And I,
direct. Go
and
ahead.
I want to chime in on this one too. Is on social media, it's just a little bit different on the conversion rate. Like I see a lot of my team members or other people who doing a lot, generating a lot of leads, just like you mentioned earlier, generating a lot of leads through different sources, especially social media. But then they don't know what to do with it, or they can't convert it because the clients would text them like, "Hey, can I have the address on that property that you just post?" They send the address, and then the client never responds again. Then what do you do next? So the key is to always follow up with that clients and put them into somehow you're able to talk to them, give them enough value that they will give you their phone number, then put them into your CRM and start following up with those. And don't just follow up like, "Hey, just checking, how's everything going? Are you still in the market searching for a home?" If they already message you wanting to know about that address that you are posting about, then they are interested in good deal, or they're interested in the Lakeview home, like, or that Airbnb that you post. Then find something that's similar to them and spark their interest again by saying, "Hey, I saw last time you text me asking me about the Airbnb that I post. I found another great Airbnb opportunity. Why don't you check a look and let me know what you think?" And then you follow up with them again and ask some questions about the home that you just sent. That will be better than just, "Hey, just checking, how's everything going?" I don't think in this world, like, we hate those kind of questions because we don't have time to answer, "Hey, that's fine, I'm fine." Instead of just being polite, they probably just don't respond to you. And that's why a lot of us doing social media, but the conversion rate is extremely low because we don't really make an extra effort to go out there and find them a next home that they might be interested in.
No, I love that. Yeah, lead with value. Instead of follow up and ask how people are doing, hey, lead with value. Give me something that I already interested in. So lead with value. I love that.
And open-ended questions, not a yes or no question to where they have to respond. Something that Tao said in another class that I loved is she said when she makes a video, she already knows who she's targeting. So she'll say, "Hey, if you're a first-time home buyer, this is for you. Hey, if you want a new construction house in Katy, this is for you." And so she hooks them early on. And I saw an example of that. They said before, when we were Realtor 101, we'd go, "Here's a home buyer's guide." And that was our clickbait. And that's just so general, right? Because you don't really know if they're ready or what they're looking for or if they're even in your state. And so they said an example would be like, if you're going to buy a new construction house in Ellison and Katy, here's 5 mistakes you don't want to make. And they said the people who click on that link are going to be people who want to buy a new construction house in Katy, probably in Ellison. And so, like Tao said, knowing exactly who you're marketing, and then once you get those leads, being able to convert them, I think that's a totally different set of skills. That it takes some psychology to it, but that you can go deeper rather than wide. You don't need 100 leads to be able to be successful.
Exactly. Yeah. A lot of agents will have a lot of leads flowing in, and then they don't make an effort to actually take time and convert those. And you kind of waste your time and energy and resources of making those content if you don't even have time to sit down and convert those leads.
Yeah, I love that. Yep. Anybody have a lead conversion success story that they want to share, or anything that you are working on but it's not quite working out yet? You want to pick my brand, our brand?
So I have a problem. And then I have a lot of leads from Facebook, and then they call me, and then they said, "Oh, they want to work with me, but like they work with another agent too." And then whoever send the lead for them and they're interested, that they will schedule for showing with that agent. And then, for if there's issue, do you will take that lead or no?
Okay, good question. I will probably not, but Tao will have a different answer. So I think
I
this.
would not either.
Yeah.
You just have to explain to them the value and the expertise and the time it's going to take to do it. And if you can't essentially protect that time by having some type of representation agreement, then just for you and your business, that's just not how you operate. And then I would throw out, you'll find a lot of agents that do that, but just a red flag if an agent is even willing to do that. This is going to be tough. I wouldn't want them negotiating for me for sure, but I wouldn't take that person. I would educate them a little bit because maybe they don't know. Maybe they're new to this and they think, hey, whoever sends me the best deal is going to get the commission. And they don't understand the value of interviewing and hiring the correct agent. then sure. So maybe educate them a little bit, but other than that, I wouldn't work with them.
I have a little
Yeah,
trick. So
because
But
for
I have
some of you may have a different
I have
approach.
really successful with one client. She told me before that she worked with another agent also, but whoever can send the good deal for her, she will go with that. And then I work close for her like 5 house in a few months.
something that might help, and a lot of agents will say, "Hey, do you know any other realtors, or are you working with a realtor?" And that's like the worst question ever, right? Because everyone knows a realtor. A good question to ask, even if they say that they're working with other people, is, has anyone taken the time to sit down with you and walk you through the process of what a buyer's
Yeah.
agent does? And nobody will say yes, because no realtors sit down and go, "Hey, let me sit down and walk you through the process of why we're important and how we can bring value," and then try to get in front of them. For me, I'm terrible on the phones, even though I memorize all the scripts. I've got like a little 5-year-old voice, and it's squeaky, and it just doesn't go well on the phone. I need to get in front of them. I need to either meet them at a house. I need to meet them for coffee. I want to have them at the office, something. And so you might just say, "Hey, I know you're working with a lot of realtors because finding a great deal is important to you. Has any of those realtors taken the time to really sit down with you and learn your buy box and walk you through the process of what we do and how we're able to source deals off market?" And she'll say no, and then say, "Great, I would love to meet with you for coffee this week or next week, or do a Zoom with you or whatever." And what I found is, once you're face to face with that person, you build that rapport, that will be your client.
I love that. So Amanda,
Thank you.
I
Yeah.
love what you do, Amanda. You ignore the objection. You acknowledge, but you ignore it, and then you move to the next pipeline, which is just set up an appointment with the lead and see if it's even there's a chemistry between you two. So I love that.
Yeah.
I want to chip into this too. A lot of time, what I would tell them is, you see the deal that I post on Facebook and you message me, right? But this deal, I already sent it to my investor way ahead of time, even before I post these. So if you want me to be working with you and you want to be in my priority list, it has to be something exclusive. Like I it's fine if I'm competing with other realtors, but I think the reason why you want different realtors to send you deals, because you probably worry that one realtor might not have enough time to hunt for good deal for you. But if you absolutely feel 100% confident that I will pour over my time and resources to hunt you a good deal. I use the word hunt when I work with investor, not just find, because hunting is like more aggressive. So if you're confident 100% that I will hunt a good deal for you, will you work with me exclusively? And that has been really successful. Even the two case that I converted for you, that client actually went to an open house and she told me that she worked with multiple realtors, and if we find her, whoever find her a good deal, then she go with them. And then that's what I told her. Instead of you trying to call different listing agents and working so hard and reach out to listing agent and schedule appointment, or you can get the VIP service of someone always available to find you houses and schedule at your time, instead of have to accommodate the listing agent. So yeah, that's how I was able to convert that leads and give it to you.
No, I love it. I love how you're able to take
Thank you, chị.
conversation and then you frame it in a different way with you being the high authority. And I believe the concept that you just discussed in this is in the book. It's called Pitch Anything. So everybody need to write this book down. It's called Pitch Anything by Oren Claff. I read that book 2 times. That is gonna be your Bible when it comes to conversation. It's gonna teach you framing, the authority, how to do what Thảo just does. Just take an objection and then frame it in a different way with you being the authority in the conversation. So this is a really good book. Please don't do that on me.
She's so good at it. I've
Go
seen her in
ahead,
meetings, and
Amanda.
she'll be at a lunch and she's, "Let me just tell you how lucky you are that you found me." And I'm like, "Oh my God, like I would never say that." And then they look at her like, "I'm so lucky. You're so right. Like this is exactly what I was looking for." And she says it without an ego. It's like very sweet. "I'm bringing you so much value. I'm so glad." Or, "You saw me on Facebook posting that because you know that I've got good deals. You've seen my team online. You know that we've got it going on." But she'll say stuff like that. "You're so lucky that you found me." And truly, I'm sitting next to her going, "She's such a badass. Like, I'm so lucky that I get to sit by her." So yes, I'll read that book.
Yep, I love that. I love that. Well, thank you for a really good question. Cool, cool, cool. Yeah. I think, yeah, if there's nothing else, Amanda, you want to wrap it up? I know that for the Houston people, we have the lunch and lavish. This is the first that we're going to do per month. And if it's working, if you guys like it, we can continue it monthly. If it doesn't work, we can do some other format. But I really want to kick up the spirit of collaboration into the next level.
I love that. Thank you, Hui, for organizing that. Then this has been amazing. It's really great because everyone's popping in. It's not fun if it's just me and Hui and
Yeah.
Min talking. It's so cool to hear from Tao and Suzanne and Jeff and Min and everyone. So every week we'll do this. Please invite someone. Every week will be a different topic, and our goal is to bring value to you. So have a great week. Reach out for truly anything.
Yep. Yeah. So we have lunch and levitt coming up at 11:30 at the Kim Seo. And then this Friday, me and Jeff, we're gonna do a workshop. So it's not an event. You actually gonna sit down in the room for 2 hours with me and Jeff. You're gonna see how Jeff and I hunt for deal. Okay. So don't miss the Friday. Don't miss the lunch if you're in Houston. The requirement is you need to have at least one agent in the group to go to the lunch. But the workshop is open to everybody. So looking forward to host more event, more collaboration, and help everybody business.
Okay, love it. Reach out if you guys have any lead generation or, more importantly, lead conversion problems. We've got you.